All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the pre-season show of RLSS Rocket League Symphonian Series. I am your host, Randomize, and I'm here joined with Ginger, who is on the top. I'm on mirror, and then I got Nate right under me, Nate Dog. So today we're going to be talking about pretty much everything and anything that you need to know about Rocket League Symphonian Series, about Symphonia, FIMU Alpha, what are the letters and all that jazz and stuff like that. So we're going to try to bring the people who are non-Symphonians here into kind of like this idea and understand, you know, who we are and what we do. And then we're going to kind of talk about PMAHGN as a gaming part of our fraternity. And then we're going to get into basically everything and anything you need to know about Rocket League Symphonian Series and to get hyped for the next 7 weeks of Rocket League. I know I'm excited for it. Nate's definitely excited for it. Ginger's excited for it. Oh God, Nate's breaking the camera already. All right, so before we get into everything, once again, my name is Randomize. Ginger, would you like to say anything about yourself?
Not much really.
What do you do, Ginger, besides Rocket League? What do you like to do?
I mean, with Rocket League, I haven't done much. I've started more with it just because of the series, so I'm glad to be putting the hours in, and it's starting to grow on me. But besides that, just grinding in life.
There you go.
You know.
That's what I'm talking about. Nate Dog, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so for Rocket League, I've kind of been playing since the beginning. I've been playing the full 2 years now. I actually hit 700 hours last week, so I've been playing a very, very long time. Other than Rocket League, I am a recruiter, and I'm a very, very loyal Symphonian. I love Symphonia. I really like to see how this tournament has truly progressed and like how they see everything come together. How just like Ginger just brought up how like he kind of got into Rocket League because of this, and like how so many people have grown so quickly because of this. It's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, and I'm Randomized. I'm also a Symphonian. I'm actually on the council team, the high head team of the PMAHGN. I got into Rocket League from my cousin when I went to Best Buy, and it was just like a demo on the PS4, and I was like, oh, I'll play around with it. And I thought Rocket League was the dumbest thing when I heard about it first. And this was about a year after it's about a year after the game came out, and I tried it for my first time. I fell in love with it. I got into it, and then I started talking to more brothers in PMAHGN, and then I ended up meeting Nate down here, who actually now is my doubles partner, and we're looking to possibly go into actual competition, and I'm excited about this. And you know, like Nate said, we pulled in a lot of brothers into this. There was a lot of brothers that weren't really sure if they were going to do this, like Ginger here, and you know, we taught them everything we knew from what we learned, and it got a lot of people excited. So with further ado, intro to FIMU Alpha. What is FIMU Alpha? FIMU Alpha, Symphonia Incorporated, or Symphonia. Some people are like, oh, we're incorporated. Technically, we are. We are a national fraternity found in 1898. Whoa, almost failed my test. We were founded in 1898 by our founding father, Ossian Everett Mills. Very hard name to say. Basically, we're a music fraternity all across the nation of United States. And our goals are basically to advance music in America, to be loyal to our alma mater, you know, the same old jazz that every other fraternity says, but instead we're focused on music and education in music for all people across America, not even just children, but for anyone. So FIMU Alpha is about 111,000 and something members right now. Since the beginning of Symphonia to today, we are over 100,000 strong of brothers across the United States. We have, I believe, 334 chapters active at the moment. I believe that's the last time I checked the number. So yeah, we're a pretty big deal, and we're all over the place. We're in people's faces. We're not in people's faces. People know who we are. People don't know who we are, and we find every way possible to get out there. Guys, is there anything else I'm missing about PMA? Did I forget anything?
No, other than the fact that we love to give back. It's the whole reason we're founded.
Right.
Just like you brought up, advanced music in America. To truly give back and make people's lives better, and help bring a little bit of a joy, even in like current just climate of the world.
Exactly.
To try to give back and just really help the team, make people's days better.
Exactly. And we got a cool thing that we can do where we got our move bot in the chat. If you are a brother, you can put !hail and it'll automatically hail for you, so you don't have to type in all those letters. If you're not a Symphonian, I'm sorry, I know you don't know what those letters mean. It's something very dear and near to us, but you know, it means big things. So yeah, basically from there we're gonna migrate into what PMA SGN is, which stands for FIMU Alpha Symphonia Gaming Network. We used to be PMA SGC, but due to copyright problems and there was a brother that created a logo for us, but then something happened and he ended up not wanting us to continue it, and because of that we couldn't actually continue using the name, so we changed the C of council into N, and that's where it pretty much changed everything. And I see someone saying Nate is pretty quiet, so let me turn that up. There we go. Okay, I turned them up. They're probably gonna be very loud for me, but it's fine. I don't care. I can go deaf. I'm missing one ear anyway, so it's all good. If anyone's wondering, yeah, I'm actually missing an ear. It's not a real ear.
I do apologize, Schooler. Is that any better at all?
You're probably much better.
Let me know in the chat, everybody.
You're fucking loud on my end, so I'm pretty sure you're good. I'm gonna turn you both down a little bit. But yeah, so PMASGN is FIMU Alpha Symphonia Gaming Network. So we're still a music fraternity, but there's many brothers who found out that many other brothers love video games as well as they do, you know, music. So we started a Facebook group a long time ago. I don't remember exactly. I think it was about, I want to say about 5-6 years ago, maybe even longer. I'm not really sure, but the group started a long time ago, and brothers from all over the nation have been meeting together, and the popularity of PMASGN has been growing and growing. So it's awesome that we have so many brothers involved in it, and it's just purely the same idea as PMA, but now we just add SGN. It's all about gaming and music. Hence why we have music playing in the background as well, because this would be boring without music. So yeah, so basically, now that you know who FIMU Alpha is, and now that you know what PMASGN stands for, let's get into RLSS, or known as Rocket League Symphonian Series, what you can see right in the middle here on this little cool freaking shield that we got. It was so sick when we saw it the first time. I was so excited about it. So yeah, Rocket League Symphonian Series and how it started, the intro to what it is. Nate, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, so Rocket League Symphonian series, we were so happy. So like, I was like, for a long time, I was like, oh man, I was a bunch of Symphonians that play Rocket League. I wonder if they want to do a tournament. And then I started playing with Josh, and he's like, hey, we should do a tournament sometime. I was like, holy shit, I want to do a tournament. And kind of we just spiraled from there to kind of truly make something. And we kind of just like got things together, or just through and through. It's been a long time coming. We've kind of just like kept trying to recruit more and more and more people, and it's kind of got to this point now where we actually have 5 teams. We actually have 15 total players, and we're hoping to get a lot more for next time. But we're just a huge community that kind of came together. They were all like really, really close. Like I met Ginger like a couple weeks ago, and I've talked with him like every night for the past week now. Just because we all kind of grew really close really quick. It just kind of, people that are in Symphonia that also enjoy video games and also enjoy Rocket League kind of just came together and was like, hey, some of us really suck at this game. Some of us are kind of okay at this game. Let's all just come together and have a pretty amateur tournament, but have a lot of fun while doing it. And who knows, just maybe kind of sprout something into something pretty big.
Yeah, and what's interesting about it is that, you know, you hear Nate say the word tournament a lot. It originally was the idea that we were just going to do it as a tournament. But then we realized, like, there's a lot of people in Symphonia Gaming that actually never was in competitive gaming. So I said, well, you know what? Why don't we give them a chance to feel what it's like, and we can make it into a league, and we'll make a series out of it instead of just one day. And we don't, like, you know, some of these players, like, the hardest part about it is that even though we have 15 players, and it seems like such a small number, a lot of us have a lot of, you know, real life schedules that get in the way, and it's very hard for teams to get together. The fact that our teams have gone together is phenomenal, and we've figured out a scheduling way to actually make sure that even if the players aren't available every Sunday, the games will still be played and then rebroadcast on Sunday. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, so what's really interesting about it, and what's really cool about Rocket League Symphonian Series, is that, like Nate said, this league is made out of all skill ranges of Rocket League. You know, take Ginger here, for example. Ginger, when we first started it and we recruited Ginger into it, Ginger was actually, I believe, you weren't even ranked in the game. I don't even, yeah, he didn't even like play the game. And we're like, hey, Ginger, you should play it. And he was like, I'm not good at it. We're like, whatever, we're going to take ranks from everyone. And like, we'll teach you how to play. And then, you know, it just got better and better and better. And we have so many players out there. You know, we had players like myself, Nate. We have players like this guy named Schooler. And we have a player like Seth and Dannyland, who are like higher skilled players who took the lower skilled players under their wings. And we trained them to get better. And what's interesting about it is the way we did it is that we set up the 5 teams are not chosen by team captains. The way the 5 teams were chosen was by myself and Ginger and one other player named Fox McCumulus. The 3 of us sat down and kind of figured out which team should each player be on. And the reason why we wanted to do this is because we wanted to make sure that the teams would be even. There was never going to be a moment where like Nate and I would be on the same team and we would just dominate the entire tournament because the rest of the people don't even know how to play this game. No, we wanted to make sure that we were able to split it up so that there was always a high rank player, a mid rank player, and a low rank player on the team of 3, so that the higher and mid player can kind of teach the lower player how to get better. The mid player will learn from the higher player, and the higher player will learn how to be a better teammate for players that are lower ranked. That way it just kind of creates this awesome mesh of just like all these different ranks, and it would change up everything. And what's crazy is like I said, we chose teams based on ranks. Now, we chose these teams based off ranks probably about 3 months ago, I want to say. It was almost like 3 months ago. This was in the past season. This was in the old season. That was in season 4, right? Was it season 4 or 5 that last season? 5. So last season, 5, that's when we chose these teams. My God, that a lot of the lower ranked players just totally screw everything up, but in an awesome way, where these players went from not playing the game to like 1 rank down from some of the higher players. For example, I'm going to keep using Ginger here because, you know, Ginger's with us. And Ginger is one of the greatest examples of players where he started at unranked, played with us for 3 months. He's got, what, like 50 hours in total in the game now?
Yeah, I'd say around 50.
50 hours, and now he's a gold 2 in 3s. And if I'm right, it's solo standards, right? Is it solo
standards?
Oh, it's in standards?
Yeah.
But even then, like, still, like, you know, gold 2, 50 hours of gameplay. I was in 100 hours of gameplay, and I was still struggling to get out of freaking perspective back when it was season 4, and there was no such thing as, you know, bronze, silver, gold, and all that stuff. So it was, oh man, it was just, hated those rank systems. But yeah, so basically from here,
Rising star.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. So we're gonna get into the teams right here, and you can kind of see like what our Discord looks and everything. In the bottom, it's in the bottom right corner for your screen. So for team 1, we have myself, Randomize, Nola Nova, and Colonel Mustard. And now I know a lot of people that are not really PMA HGN affiliated. You're like, what do I need to know these people are? We're gonna talk about these people so that you know like who you're gonna want to cheer on for. And our team 1's name is Mr. Cats. For team 2, Lemsox, we got Fox McCumulus, Seth, I can never say his whole name. Seth Bartholomew. Okay. And Lemmy, and they are Lemsox with the second team. Third team is the Squirrely Tadpoles, and that makes up of Schooler 256, Ghost Slayer 1020, and Killer Gunfish, which he's going to be someone we're going to talk about in just a second. Team 4 is Musical Frat Boys.
Also known as the winners.
I guess you can guess who's on Team Frat, or the, you know, Musical Frat Boys. We got Me Swan Jr., who is the co-admin of this channel with me. I'm the admin, if anyone didn't know. And then Nate Dog and Whip Dog. We got enough dogs on that team. You guys should have been the Musical Dog Boys. my musical frat dogs. And then on team 5, we have the Super Duper Goobers. We got Danny Land, SS the Third, and our friend here, Ginger. I don't know which way to point. I know, it's these cameras, man. For me, it's this way. For that, I'm gonna start doing the Numa guy. Yeah, so those are the 5 teams. Now, we bring up these 5 teams because we want you guys to kind of look ahead and get excited for the teams we will be seeing and playing, and that's what's going to be very interesting. And while we talk about this, I'm actually going to put some games up of some of us who played in the past in the bottom right corner, so you can kind of keep an eye on what it looks like and everything. But oh yeah, so while we talk about that, so with these teams are mixed up, like I said, with a high, mid, and low team. The problem is some of these players got good, and the ones that got good were the lower tier players. So that changed the balance of everything. And like, for example, Ginger is one of them, where he was apparently one of the lower people, and now he's one of the higher people. And it's like, okay. And then, oh, there's Ginger on the screen. And then, there you go, playing as Rocket Man. And then there's players like Killa Gunfish is one player that blows my mind. He was one of the lower players, like, and when I say lower, I mean the kid barely even knew how to get his car to go straight. And now he's flying around throwing aerials like it's nobody's business. He sneaks around and everything. So, in my opinion, I want to say, if I had to pick the top 3 players that we should keep an eye out for, I want to say my top 3 picks is going to be Nate Dogg under us, because Nate plays like Fireburner, and he pulls out some stupid tricks out of his pocket, which like pisses the rest of the game, like the rest of the league off, because we're like, oh my god, how did you do that? And even though Nate says he's not a diamond, he pretty much is a diamond player. So my number 1 pick is going to be Nate Dogg. Keep an eye out on him. He's on the Musical Frat Boys. My number 2 pick, it would be Ginger, and I'm gonna tie him with the other brother, Miswan Jr. And the reason why I put these 2 tied as number 2 is because they're both players, like I said, that started low and they started to build their skill. And what's crazy about them is that, like, they can't capitalize on every single shot, but the ones that matter are the ones they capitalize on, and it plays a whole mind game on all the other teams, because all the other teams think like, oh, he missed that aerial, he's gonna miss this shot. And then all of a sudden, we don't think anyone's going to take the shot, and then you see either Ginger or Miswan flying through the freaking field and nailing a perfect shot. So, number 2, those guys tied are definitely one. My last pick on who you definitely keep an eye on is Killa Gunfish. And before I get into reason why I'm going to talk about Killa Gunfish, I want Nate to talk about this, because I know Nate's like obsessed with the man.
Yeah, so Killa, him and I were playing like last night for just a couple hours. Like I played with him a couple weeks ago, and then haven't talked to him in a while. Played with him last night. I could not believe the amount of progress this man has made. It is nutty. He started off at like 0 hours in the game, bronze 1, div 1, unranked. He's now a solid gold 1, gold 2 player. It is insane to watch a man grow in, like, he's only at like 70 hours in the game and he's already so far. I taught him out a half lip yesterday. He picked it up in like 4 seconds.
Oh wow.
It took me a week.
Really?
But like he learned it so fast, and like he was hitting arrows, like you brought up earlier, hitting arrows way across the board. He's going for them. Like if for lower level players trying to go for arrows, go for every single one he can. You can. He did that. He did a lot of ones. I was talking about it. He's a great ones player. I think that's really going to help him in this 3v3 tournament, just because being a good ones player really helps. So kind of like even not even setting up, like setups too. So he's just a crazy strong player. Just really look out for. Kind of segue. He's my number 1 player to look out for. He just grows so much, and it's really cool to see like how far he's really gonna go in Rocket League.
Yeah. Who else? Pick 2 more. Who else should we keep an eye out for, Nate? You can say yourself. So, I don't care if you want to say yourself.
No, I'm sorry. It's okay. No.
See, I told you, he's a diamond player, but he's like, no, I'm horrible.
I didn't get that. But Killa, he's just so good. Another person to really look out for. Ghost Slayer 1020. His name is Mike. Really strong player. I know he's currently like flat 3, diamond 1 right now in threes. He's nutty. He's grown so much so fast. He took a little bit of hiatus towards the season 4 and like beginning of season 5, and honestly, he doesn't even play that much. But he's still just so good because the guy can just grind like no other. I'm proud to call him one of my best friends in the world, and he's just such a good player. It's really awesome to see it. For that third player, I think you really gotta look out for Seth the Third. I haven't played that much with the guy. That worries me. This is because like I've watched a lot of the footage. The guy can play. That is definitely for sure. He's just such a strong player, and like I got to kind of learn how Dannyland played yesterday. That helped me. I'm nervous to see how Seth the Third was gonna play. I want to play with him sometime this week just so I can learn. But he's another one you really got to look out for. It's because he's just a great all-around player that's grown so much in the last couple of months.
Ginger, who would you say would be your top 3 people to look out for?
So I'm personally looking at Fox McCumulus because he's looking around and
Absolutely.
I know he was asking you a lot of questions, both of y'all, and
yeah.
trying to learn and pick up things, and I know he can pull some stuff out from nowhere somehow. It annoys me. and then I get to play with him a lot, so I see some of the stuff he does and whatnot, and it's really fun to see that, and he's picked up a lot from you, I know, Random. So Nate, that's kind of beneficial for you because you know Random's play styles and stuff. But he's my number 1. For a second one, I would have to go with Miswan. That there's points where you don't have. It's like they all missed it, they whiffed, and then Miswan just comes out of nowhere and it scores. Like you said, Random. I guess me and him have an affinity for just making those goals that count, and just out of nowhere. And then for a third, I'm gonna have to go with Killer Gunfish.
Yeah.
It's like Nate mentioned, it's crazy how much he can do, and he's pretty solid defense from what I've seen in that, and that's good because you can't lose a game if the opposing team can't score. So those would be my.
Real quick to kind of go back to Fox. Fox was asking me like, hey, like, well, what do you do differently? I'm like, well, I have this really weird controller set up to where I do claw grip. So actually, my boost is right bumper. He's like, what the hell? And I'm like, so he tried that. And then he like, I know, Ginger, you're talking about how he sucked that week. But like after that, he just improved so much. The guy can adapt crazy well. So I definitely agree. He's probably like my number 4, just like that close. So I can definitely see that.
And I want to point out something for anyone that doesn't know what claw grip means. It's where you grasp your controller like this, and your finger actually plays on top of the RB button, or L1 or R1, or you bring your finger down, and then now your fingers actually press on the key or on the buttons, the A, B, X, Y, or the X square, circle, triangle. I guess if you're on PS4. I actually used to play claw grip for Halo, but it kind of built arthritis on my hand. So now I got a Pro X controller where I have a bumper here that replaced the broken RB button. But now I can rotate by pressing RB here. So you'll see, if you watch me play, you'll notice that I spin to my right more than my left, just because I grip the controller too hard, and I don't mean to spin. I'm just starting to spin. I'm like, ah.
And that's how you break your controller.
Exactly. That's why there's no RB button anymore. Actually, no, that's a whole nother game, why the RB button's broken. But yeah, I definitely want to mention Fox as well. Like, the only reason why I didn't put Fox in my top 3 is only because of the fact that I want his skills to speak. And I want his skills to show why he should have been in top 3, at least for me, and why he should be top 3 for like every viewer. And the reason why is because Fox McCumulus is also, like I said, he's one of the players that like I took under my wing personally. Nate took me under his wing, and then when Nate wasn't around, I took Fox under my wing. And I watched Fox grow so much, and he dealt with so much of my crap and yelling at him and just getting frustrated, but like out of love. And he took it all without hate and just like built this skill that he has now, which definitely would put me in danger because Fox now knows my gameplay. I know Nate's gameplay, which means Fox knows Nate's gameplay, which means Nate and I know Fox's gameplay. So it's going to be a huge different style of gameplay when it comes to, you know, like the musical frat boys or Lem Sox or Mysticats, like when you see those three teams, like those are the teams that I'm gonna really see locking in, which then actually moves on to our next thing, which would be the rivalries. Who do we think would be a rival? Who do we think would be a player rival? Who do we think will be a team rival? Ginger, I want to hear your thought about this.
I'm already going to start off with Mysticats and MFB because y'all do right there. That's a good call out. I don't know what else. There's team rival-wise, that's got to be the number one.
Oh yeah.
Especially since you guys are duos in that. There's put you guys on two separate sides and then clashing. Player-wise,
It'd be us again.
yeah, you guys again, but like.
Yeah, no. Nate, what do you think? Ginger, we'll come back to you if you think of one.
Yeah, I know for sure. So like honestly, the Ginger Fox. I know you guys play together so much, and I think you both have grown so much in a short amount of time. I think you're right around the same level, kind of like that gold 1, silver 3, even maybe gold 2 level. To where you just know each other so well. It'd be really, really cool to see. Just kind of like how you guys perform against each other. I'm really, really excited to see that. Another really good one. It's gonna be the Colonel Mustard Ghost Slayer. They live in the same apartment.
Oh, yeah.
Two of my best friends. They sit. Actually, they'll sit next to each other on the desk. They're actually on opposite ends, I believe now. I haven't grown that in a couple weeks, but when they play duos together, they're so strong together. Like I play duos with them a lot, and like it's really, really cool to see them just like, oh, they don't even need me. They can just play together. So like to kind of like tear that duo apart, but to really see it, it's gonna be really, really awesome to see how they play against each other. For that final one, honestly, it's gonna have to be Random and I, just because we play so much together. You and I have a solid probably 40, maybe 50 hours in the game playing with each other. It'd be really cool. I know I always allow to do ones against you, and I always win those ones. So it'd be fun to see that 3v3 format, kind of to see how well we're able to play against each other. That's gonna be really awesome to see. But for sure, the Fox Ginger, but also Ghost Slayer, Colonel Mustard. They're, like I said, they're best friends. Like, they've known each other since high school, a long time. They're both seniors now in college, very long. But it'd be really, really awesome to see, and I'm definitely gonna look out for those games. And for everybody watching, I would look out for those too.
Yeah, and that's the Squirrely Tadpoles and Lem Socks, just in case you were wondering. For me, I got some interesting ones for sure. And before I do that, I got to change the replay again because it's only 5 minutes per thing. Oh shit, I just put an old one. That's fine.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. I try really hard, guys. I do, really. So for me, okay, my number one rivalry actually surprisingly would not actually be Nate and myself. It's actually going to be Schooler and me. And then I'm also going to say Schooler and Nate. And the reason why I'm tying that as number one, Schooler has this like bad boy attitude where he just he's a good player, but like sometimes I think he lets his attitude get in the way. And that like just makes so much competition out of all of us. And I'm not calling him out. I'm not saying he's a bad person. No. But what I love is like he has that like confident attitude that just like makes you go, ugh, and like it's definitely going to be more fun to watch like when I go up against Schooler or when Nate goes up against Schooler, because Schooler's another player that we play with a lot. Like he understands our skill, we know his skill, but he's definitely like one of those players that just like he knows how to get under your skin, and definitely like it's just like his thing. And another person that I know that I don't have a rivalry for him yet, but I definitely know he's someone that's going to create a rivalry, and that's Whip Dog. Whip Dog likes to just like Whip Dog will get under your skin. And now, mind you, during the streams, I'm going to have the chats off so no one can see it. But I already know Whip Dog's going to use the chat to get under people's skin, because Whip Dog isn't that crazy high in skill. But with skill comes mind play, and Whip Dog knows all about mind play. And whether or not he can use the chat or not, he does it in game. He will get in your way. He will bump you for no reason, just to piss you off a little bit, just to tilt you and just make the whole game another game, because basically Whip Dog's goal is he's like, listen, I know I'm not the best player, so what am I gonna do instead? I'm gonna try to tilt the team so that my team can totally take him on. So I already know he doesn't have any rivals right now, but he's definitely gonna build a rival at some point. Someone is gonna snap and hate him, and like, of course, sportsmanship hate, not actually hate in person. Like, we all love each other, we're all brothers. But he's definitely someone I gotta look out for. And for the last rivalry, it's just purely, I already know right off the bat, it's gonna be Musical Frat Boys versus Mr. Cats. I can't remember my own team's name. And the reason why I want to say this is because of multiple reasons. Nate Dogg and I are duo partners. We play very well. We know how to, like, counter other players by passing the ball, you know, that you see in pro plays. Like, we figured out pro play passes, which a lot of people around Platinum and Diamond still can't really do. And we know how to actually throw the ball over each other's heads and get it in the position that we need to. So now, not having that source in our back pocket, it's gonna get a little scary, because now we gotta depend on other players, and we know when to read when those passes are gonna happen, because usually we're the ones expecting it. So that's gonna be a big thing. Another reason why the two teams are gonna be rivals is because Swan Jr. and myself, we're both, excuse me, we're both, the admins, we're co-admins of the PMA SGN channel and the PMA SGN Discord. We work together head-to-head all the time. We work very well together. So even though we may not have the same skills in Rocket League, I might be a little bit higher ranked than him, he knows how to play in my head, and he knows how to do that. And I think that's going to create a big rivalry, that he's just literally gonna get in there and get me mad, and then he's gonna let Nate get the cannon and just start shooting scores all over the place, and then it's just gonna get me to go nuts. And I think that's gonna be a huge thing. And the last one that's gonna be so exciting is gonna be Nate versus Mustard, because once again, they're best friends, and once again, we are still on Musical Frat Boys versus the freaking Mr. Cats. Like, there's just so many different rivalries ready to happen in this game that it's gonna be insane. Like, every time we're gonna go up each other, I already know right off the bat, there's gonna be so much, like, offline, you know, trash talking that we won't do online, because we want to make it all family friendly for everyone. But off stream, I already know right off the bat, I'm gonna be calling Nate on the phone, be like, yeah, it's right, I beat you last night. I mean, we're gonna get in each other's heads. This is gonna there you go. See, that's the exciting part. That's what I'm excited about. This is that there's these friendly rivalries, because like, Nate is one of my good friends now. Like, Ginger is one of my good friends now. Like, I'm starting to consider them pretty much best friends, because I know I could talk to them not just about this stuff, but everything else, because I have done that. I've already ranted to them multiple times, so they know me personally, as well as, you know, a Symphonian and a gamer. So for me, that makes me a little scared. I might have opened the door a little bit too much. But with that being said, we gotta get down to the nitty gritty predictions. Who do we think is going to take it? Who do we think needs work? Who do we think might just surprise us? We have 5 weeks of games. It's gonna be it's gonna be technically 4 games, right? And it's 2 rounds each week. These players are gonna play basically 10 games to work on their standings, which we will show the standings right here. These standings right here, of course, they're 0 right now, but these 5 teams are going to have this bracket to fill up and try to prove to us why we think that, you know, they should be seed 1, seed 2. Mind you, these seeds are completely just like all over the place. They're not actually, you know, they're not actually the seeds in the ranks of the players right now. They're just kind of there, but there's a good chance that, you know, these seeds are gonna be completely different. They're gonna be all over the place. So I wanna know, what do you guys think? Who do you think we should watch out for? Who should we be worried about? You know, like, what do you guys think? And you can totally say your own team. Yeah. It's fine.
I'm gonna go completely unbiased here. 100% unbiased. That's not possible. But like, I think honestly, in the grand finals, I think it's gonna be Mr. Cat versus Squirrely Tadpoles.
Really?
I really do. Because you have Mustard, solid player, and then you have Random yourself. Like, you're just really good. And like, I just know you're both individually great players. I think Noah's grown a lot, and then if he's willing to put in the work, I definitely think you guys could rise to the challenge and really finish it off. Squirrely tadpoles, though. You got Schooler over there as the captain. You got Ghostlair, who's like one of my players I said look out for. He's so good. He may have taken a hiatus while ago, but he just got right back in it. You got Killer Gunfish. He grew so quick. It's really cool to see. In my opinion, it's kind of that team that is the best round in players, so you can kind of see like a lot of these teams have like a really good player or like really two players and like a really much lower player. Killa kind of rose to both Ghost Slayer and Schooler, so now they're kind of all around the same level. And like Killa is like actively watching professional play. He's actually starting to pass more, trying to read a lot better, like just kind of set up things more. And that's what Ghost Slayer. Ghost Slayer is that striker every team needs. If Schooler and Killa can set up the ball for Ghost Slayer to kind of get a good arrow goal, he will find the back of the net. And that's why I think Squirrely Tadpoles, I think, are going to take the whole thing.
All right. What about you, Ginger? What do you say? You gonna be biased and you're gonna be like, no, we're the best team. We're gonna win.
Also, go Musical Crap Boys, we're going to win it.
There's the bias we're looking for.
There's the biases. I personally think to keep an eye out for Limb Socks, just with the Fox and Seth being big little combo right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot about that.
Just having that personal bond, and it's going to be in the gameplay, and they're both really solid players. And then you got Limmy in there, who we've all dealt with in that, so we also, we bond well enough. So if you have the bond and the communication in that, I think it'll be very well done for them. So I would keep an eye out for them. I don't know, a lot of it's hands up, just given how it's, like you guys said, so many people have grown. It's kind of hard to make any predictions based on just there's me, there's Swan, there's Kill. We've all bumped up really high, and it's surprising. So it's kind of a lot of gray water for me personally.
Yeah, for me, I honestly, really in the end of the day, who I would love to see in the finals, and I'm gonna be a little biased, I would love to see Musical Frat Boys versus the Mr. Cats. I feel like that's just gonna be the oh my god game. There's gonna be some moments, and mind you, for anyone that doesn't know, during the season we're doing best of threes, but then during the playoffs we'll be best of fives, and the semi and the finals are gonna be best of sevens. So the semifinal and the finals are gonna be marathons, and we're also doing the tournament rules where if the winner bracket team loses the series, the whole series resets, and now they both fight to become the champions. So we could almost see 14 games just in the finals. And I really think the Musical Frat Boys and the Mr. Cats would totally make it. But here's my thing. There are a lot of players that are very, very scary. They're hitting. They're just you think they're gonna play bad, and then all of a sudden they just prove us wrong. They prove us wrong. And part of my predictions is gonna also be Lem Socks. I think that even though Lemmy's been having problems with computers, the thing about Lemmy is that Lemmy is like another whip dog. Lemmy knows he's not that best of a player, so what he does is he just gets in your face and he will push you out of the way. And I think with Fox knowing how to pass, because I taught him how to be a good support player, Seth just being a dirty shooter, I really just think that with Lemmy bumping, Seth shooting, Fox setting up everything, I think Lemsox could just really just show up and, take this all away. In my opinion, it could be a thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking in the chat right now, and SS the Third says that we think we're sleeping on him, but I don't know. So if anybody in the chat here wants to say while we talk about our last few things, go ahead. You can go and say who you want, your own team, any other team, go ahead. It would be a lot of fun to see what you guys think. Before we start wrapping this up, one of the things I want to bring up is that we are going to be making a Twitter for the Rocket League Symphonian series. It's not made up yet, but it will be. So be sure that if you haven't followed this channel, hit the follow button, because we're going to be turning on the thing down there. I can't think what it's called. It's like a status updater down below this channel, and we're going to be updating it here and there to let you guys know what's going on. And then once we get the Twitter going, we'll make the announcement so that you guys know what's going on, and we'll just be tweeting about a bunch of stuff. So once we get that, I'll let you guys know. But with that being said, I think we already know who the guys we're going to be looking for in the end of the season, the whole season. After 7 weeks, we're going to be looking for Lem Socks. We're going to be looking for the Musical Frat Boys. We're going to be looking for Mr. Cats. And you know what? Super Duper Goober, I can't even say your name. The Super Duper Goobers, SDG, and TST, the Squirrely Tadpoles, can totally just upset us. And that would be freaking amazing. I would love that. Honestly, I'd be very excited if these guys just upset the crap out of us and just pulled out of nowhere and just started, you guys just take it. I wouldn't be mad. I would just be very excited for that stuff. Oh, we got a Musical Frat Boys team in there. All right. I see that. So we never know, man. I would be very excited. But with that being said, we are going to move on and we're going to let you guys know. SDG upset.
Yeah, okay, Daddy.
There we go. All right. So basically what we're going to show you now is just a few more things. So for the way this is going to work is that every Sunday we will be broadcasting the games, all 4 games. Like I said, there's going to be 4 games per week for the first 5 weeks. During the season, we'll be broadcasting the 4 games. But sometimes some of the players won't be able to make it to those games on Sunday. So we set up a way where we'll be streaming the games live during the week. And so you can watch those games live, and there won't be a lot. There will just be commentary, possibly, and games. Sometimes there won't be any commentary and just the game. But then we will replay them again on Sunday. So don't worry if you don't see any of the games during the week. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Sunday for the next 7 Sundays, you will be able to catch these players play and show who should be the next Rocket League Symphonian Series champion. I shouldn't even say next. I should say who should be the first Rocket League Symphonian Series champions. And for anyone that doesn't know, the winning team, first place team, will take home $75 gift cards to their choosing. That's $25 per player, donated by our own Nate Dogg right here. Thank you, Nate Dogg, for that. And second place team will get 1 crate and 1 key for the new Accelerator crate. Hopefully there won't be another season that comes out while we're in the middle of this. But we'll be giving second place team 1 crate and 1 key, so that even if it's a player that doesn't like to pay for keys, they'll be able to open up their first crate, which I think would be awesome. So with that being said, for this week, let's keep an eye out for round one. Match 1 will be Lem Socks versus Super Duper Goobers. Match 2 will be the rival team we were talking about, the Musical Frat Boys versus the Mr. Cats. And then for round 2 of the games, we're going to be looking at match 1, Super Duper Goobers. I cannot say your guys' names, and I'm going to screw it up every time I commentate. SDG versus MFB in match 1. And then match 2 will be the TST versus Lem Socks. So as you see, pretty much 2 teams will have a bye, per week, which would be nice. So that way they'll have time to watch and strategically work on their next stuff. So I'm very excited about these guys. I don't know about you guys, but do you guys have any last words before we wrap up the stream?
Yeah, no, for sure. For anybody that's watching at all, thank you so much for watching. It definitely means the world to us. This, like the Josh and I and the Ginger, this is our baby. Like we want this to truly excel and try to get as many people like in this next time as possible. If you're a Symphonian or you know Symphonian that owns the game Rocket League, have them come in. Have them just like, hey, just reach out to one of us. Also, we're hopefully gonna do some scrims after this. So definitely try to stick around for that. Okay.
Yeah, Ginger, any last words?
No, thanks for coming out, and hopefully this is, not hopefully, it is going to be a great time. So I hope all y'all are going to be here to enjoy it as well, as much as we are.
And before I say my last words, one last thing, guys, right off the top of your head, right off the bat, who has the best team name? Nate, go.
Musical Frat Boys. Actually, I have a story for this real quick. We were going to do a Mills music mission, which all Symphonians know. If you're not a Symphonian, basically what that is at least once per semester, at least in Michigan or the province 2 chapters, we do actually have to go out to just basically primarily nursing homes, which is Osh and Everett Mills, our founder, initially did, and they just go there and just sing for them to help them out. Well, basically, one day I am from Western Michigan University Delta Iota chapter. after, where we actually went to a nursing home, and on their board they put musical frat boys instead of Find Me Alpha Symphonia. And so from there, it was always been a joke. So I just thought that'd be a really funny name. And so MFB, musical frat boys. That's I think that's the best name out of all.
Ginger, who do you think has the best team name?
I'm going to be biased, and that's going to be with the SDG Super Duper Goobers, just because I personally claim myself to be a goober. And second, it fits perfectly with the 3 letters of our names. So Danny, SS Third, and Ginger. So
for me, it's so hard to pick, to be honest. Mystic Cats is awesome just because we have what's called the Mystic Cat in our fraternity. I'm not going to get too far into it, but yeah, that's the reason why we picked that name. The musical frat boys, I love their name, but I keep butchering it, and I'm like so scared I'm gonna say it by saying the F word in the middle of commentating. And we're gonna try our best to keep it family friendly and stay away from cursing. But definitely, my favorite team name is the Squirrely Tadpoles, because it just came out of nowhere. There was. What tadpoles have to do with Rocket League? I guess one of them was playing Pokemon at the time and just like picked their name, but I personally love TST. I think TST has the greatest team name. So yeah, definitely saying that. Chat, tell me what you guys think as we finish and wrap this up. For my last words though, I'm gonna just say thank you very much for guys, and ladies, if there are any ladies out there, for seriously coming out supporting. Thank you for the gamers, the players, for signing up and doing this. I know it's a lot of work, and I know I'm on their case a lot, and I'm just jumping on the team captain saying sign up, and I'm yelling at all the players, and they're like, what do you want from me? I'm just trying to play a game. I know it's like I'm crazy when it comes to coordinating stuff, but in the end of the day, I still love it. I still love everyone. I love every player involved with it. I still love every brother. Thank you to all the brothers who have just been supporting and helping us out and being there for us when we need it the most. It's a big deal when people can do this. So thank you very much for supporting us. And, you know, thank you to the casters, the people who are willing to put their voices up. And you'll notice that some of the casters are actually some of the players as well, including myself as one of the players. Nate Dogg is a caster. Ginger is a caster. Hence why we're here. But yeah, we'll be some of the casters as well as some of the gamers. So thank you for the casters for doing that. Thank you for the streamers for putting, you know, like, I thought I was going to be the one that was going to stream everything, and I got nervous because I knew it wasn't going to be available every day. But the fact that other people were willing to learn how I was going to do this stream, and it's going to be hectic and crazy, and all these things are going to have to do and play while you're playing and doing this and that. I think it's just amazing that anyone would be willing to put in the time like they are. And just thank you, the viewer that's here right now, whether you're a brother, not a brother, just a huge fan, whatever you are. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting us. Once again, I'm Randomized. We got Ginger and we got Nate Dogg. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. So we're gonna wrap up this stream. I'm gonna put on another screen that's saying game is starting soon because we kind of forgot to make our stream is ending. So it's gonna say we're gonna start up again. We kind of forgot that, so apologize about that. But we may or may not have the stream come up in just a little bit. We're gonna try to actually get some community RLSS games going, so we're gonna try to get some brothers on. So I would say hit that follow button, turn the notification on so that you know when we go live. Thank you very much again for joining us at PMA SGN Rocket League Symphonian Series. I'm Randomized, Ginger, Nate Dogg, and we're gonna get out of here. I'll talk to you guys at the next stream. Later.
Bye.